Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Blake's Books, and today I am going to be doing a different video from the norm, but today I wanted to take some time and talk about my favorite booktubers. For those of you who are potentially unaware or unfamiliar with the term booktuber, it's essentially what this channel is. It's a YouTube channel that talks about books. And I watch quite a lot of them, some of them more than others, but there are a lot of them that I really enjoy, and I wanted to talk about some of my favorite ones in this video. So on my list of booktubers, I have 10 YouTube channels that I would like to talk about. 3 of them I would consider honorable mentions. They're ones that I don't like as much as the other 7, and then there's a main 7 that is not ranked or anything. I'll just be talking about them kind of in alphabetical order. But they are all ones that I consider my favorites, but they're not ranked or anything. And before I start the list, let me know down in the comments if there are any booktube channels that you particularly enjoy that are not on my list. Let me know down in the comments below who they are. I'm always looking for some new channels to check out. So real quick, I'll go over my 3 honorable mentions who I won't spend too much time on. These are just 3 that I do enjoy watching their videos, but for one reason or another, they just didn't make my actual main list. So the first one of those is called Legends Literature. This is the smallest YouTube channel that I'm going to be mentioning. I believe they have less than 200 subscribers. They're a fairly new channel. They've been around for less than a year, but they are focused on reviewing the Star Wars Legends books, I believe in publication order. So if you are a big Star Wars Legends fan, go check them out. I believe right now they're somewhere in the mid-90s kind of range is where they're at with the publication order right now. So if that's something you're into, then check that out. I only discovered them very, very recently, so I haven't seen a whole lot of their stuff, but I do enjoy the channel. The next one I'm going to talk about for my honorable mentions is Library of a Viking. I believe this is also a somewhat smaller channel. It's still got a decent amount of subscribers, but compared to some other ones on this list, it's pretty small. But this is one that I do really enjoy. Some book reviews and stuff like that, some more discussion type videos, and just some more fun ones. It's a good channel to check out, and I would recommend it. And the third and final channel that I am going to be talking about is another one that I discovered somewhat recently, and that is the Library Ladder. This one focuses more on classic books. I found them through some of their videos about H.P. Lovecraft and C.S. Lewis predominantly, but they cover a bunch of other classic books and stuff like that. So if you are interested in that, then check them out. I myself am a little bit more interested in checking out some more classics. I have not read very many at this point, so they're kind of one of the channels that I go to for that. So if that's something you're interested in, then check out the Library Ladder. Now let's move on to the top 7, or not the top 7 because it's not ranked, but the 7 main favorites that I have listed. If you're wondering why I didn't round it off at 5, it's because I couldn't come up with 2 of these that I wanted to remove. Because I consider all of these really favorites. 2 of them are not technically really booktube channels in the same way that the others are, so I could have removed those, but I consider them still among my favorites, so I wanted to include them. But the first one I'm going to talk about is perhaps the one that is the least booktube-ish, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but that is the YouTube channel of Brandon Sanderson, the author Brandon Sanderson, who is an author that I love. I'm currently reading his book, The Way of Kings, right now, so you can expect a review of that sometime soonish on the channel. I really enjoy his channel. He does a lot of Q&As, he does live streams where he does Q&As, he does podcasts with Dan Wells on there. That's where he posts his weekly updates, where he talks about what he's been working on and stuff like that. And as a Brandon Sanderson fan, it's just one of those channels that I really enjoy watching. The next channel I'm going to talk about is Captured in Words. This is another one that I just enjoy watching. He does videos on a lot of series that I both enjoy and am interested in checking out. Predominantly fantasy and stuff like that. That's kind of where most of these lie. And Captured in Words, I would say, if you are looking for a booktube channel with very high production values, this one is one to check out because the editing and the quality of the video itself and everything, just how everything's put together is really, really excellent. Next one, which is probably, I think, the biggest channel on this list, is one that if you are on BookTube, you are surely aware of, and that is Daniel Greene. Daniel Greene was the first BookTube channel that I discovered, and is still one of my favorites. I just love his energy. I love the way that he talks about things. He does a lot of reviews and different fun discussion-y videos, does rankings on occasion. I think more in the past, not so much recently, but and then he also does his fantasy news once or twice a week, where he covers the biggest stories in fantasy, which is always a whole lot of fun to watch. And I just really enjoy Daniel Greene's channel. He is one of the people that really inspired me to get into fantasy books, because if you don't know, I didn't really get into fantasy aside from a couple series I read as a kid. I didn't get into fantasy until just a little bit over a year ago. So he is one of, and also sci-fi as well. So he's one of the people that really kind of inspired me to do that, and through watching his videos, I was able to kind of see what interested me, and you know, he influenced a lot of what I decided to check out. He is part of the reason why I decided to get into the Cosmere. He's part of why I've started the Wheel of Time. He has talked a lot about several other series that I either currently have on my shelf waiting to be read or want to pick up eventually. So you can basically thank Daniel Greene on some level for this channel even really existing, because if it weren't for him, I may not have gotten into fantasy. I think I may still have gotten into fantasy if it weren't for his channel, but he definitely played a big role in that. So I guess you have him partially to thank for that. Next one I'm going to talk about is, like the Legends Literature channel that I talked about earlier, is kind of a more specific a focus channel. It's not really a regular BookTube channel, but it is a channel that talks exclusively, mostly at least, about one book series, and that is the channel Into the Wardrobe. This channel focuses pretty much entirely on the Chronicles of Narnia, which is something that I love. There's not really that many channels that I have found, and this is the only one that I have found really that really dedicates itself entirely to Narnia, whether that be lore videos or theory videos or things like that, just talking about the world of Narnia. And Narnia is very near and dear to my heart. It was, I think, the first fantasy series I ever read, or at least one of the first two. I can't remember for sure, but it was pretty early on, so it holds a very special place in my heart. And I was really excited to find a channel that dedicated itself entirely to Narnia. So if you're a big Narnia fan, check out Into the Wardrobe. Next, I'm going to talk about someone who is actually a subscriber of mine and who kind of partially inspired me to start this channel, and that is Jonathan Cohn. So Jonathan, if you're watching this, hi. Jonathan Cohn is a great channel. I've been subscribed to him since he was pretty small, I think under 100 or 200 subscribers, and he is now nearing 2,000, which is awesome. He does a lot of, I think, similar stuff to what I like to cover: fantasy, sci-fi, media tie-in fiction, predominantly Star Wars and Star Trek, and all of that kind of stuff. He's a great channel to follow, and I have always really enjoyed his videos ever since I discovered it. And like I said a minute ago, Jonathan Cohn's channel kind of inspired me to start my own channel, because he was a smaller YouTuber that I really enjoyed, covered a lot of similar stuff to what I like to read, and just kind of generally made me a little bit more interested in doing this myself. So thank you, Jonathan, for that. Yeah, he's a great channel, so go check him out. We're down to the last two now, so one of the last two is going to be another one that I discovered quite recently, and that is Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews. Again, this is a somewhat smaller channel, I think around 5,000-ish subscribers or something in that ballpark. But he makes some really great videos. He recently did his top 100 fantasy books of all time, which I have not seen all of, but I've seen the top 10, and I may watch the rest of them at some point. He does book reviews. and just a bunch of stuff relating to like fantasy books and stuff. He's a newer channel, so he doesn't have a ton of videos on there right now, but he is one that I have really been enjoying over the course of the last week or so, because that's how recently I discovered his channel. But I've been really enjoying his videos a lot, and I think he is going to be a channel to keep an eye on, because I think it's going to grow quite a lot. And the final channel I would like to shout out in this video is Mike's Book Reviews. This is, again, kind of like Daniel Greene's channel, one of the first BookTube channels that I found, and I've really enjoyed quite a lot. He focuses, again, kind of on fantasy, does some sci-fi, does some horror. He's a big H.P. Lovecraft fan like I am, so that's kind of fun. Also, I think likes the Chronicles of Narnia, really likes A Song of Ice and Fire. He's also a big Stephen King fan, so if you're into Stephen King, then that might be a reason to check him out. In general, again, I just really like his general vibe. He just has a nice way of presenting his videos, and it's just a really nice channel, and I really enjoy his stuff. So that's pretty much all I got for you for this video. My favorite booktubers that I follow. Let me know down in the comments if you happen to be into any of these guys. And let me know in the comments if you have any favorites that I did not talk about. Let me know those down in the comments as well. And that's pretty much all I got for you today. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.